Are you putting in the reps for your business? Hey there, my name is Bob Seebohar. I am the owner of Energy Performance and a sport dietitian and exercise physiologist for over a quarter century. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, today I want to talk about putting in the reps. What does that mean? Well, there are so many connotations to that, right? So, from an exercise perspective, putting in the reps is doing the work in or out of the gym, depending on the sport. So, you see athletes, all around high school, college, professional athletes. What do they do to be successful? Well, they put in the reps, right? They practice a lot. So that's what putting in the reps, what I'm referring to is practice, practice, practice. Now, what reference am I using here? What context? Well, as a nutrition professional, what do you do to be a nutrition professional? Okay. Well, I mean, I think we all know that. We learn. We learn how to do different things, different systems, right? But let me take you back to my process of this whole thing. So in university, so I have three college degrees, right? In my undergrad, the undergrad was fine, right? But you don't learn a lot in undergrad. You kind of learn some critical thinking skills and whatever. But you're not just ready after you graduate undergrad university to be like, oh hey, I'm gonna be a nutrition professional. I'm the best ever because you don't have the skills yet because you didn't put in the reps, right? You can't put in the reps because you have like 4 or 5 classes a semester. How do you put in the reps when you have that much to do in each semester? My point is this. After school, what do? You start to put in the reps, right? So you're figuring out, like with me, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually did a little, like I did more physiology and strength and fitness early in my career. And then I went back more for the nutrition. So I've got 2 master's degrees, one in exercise physiology, one in food science and human nutrition to become a registered dietitian. So let's fast forward after grad school. What did I do? Was I just all automatically a dietitian? Well, yeah, after I took the test and I passed, I was a registered dietitian. But was I ready to practice? Heck no. I mean, I remember when I did that, when I came out of that and I passed my RD exam, I was so stressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But now it's time to make money. But wait, I'm not making money. I have to find a job. Nobody teaches you these things because, listen, you need to put in the reps. So I'm going to separate this. The first thing, which I'm not going to talk about much, is putting in the reps as a nutrition professional. Listen, let's not disregard that. I just really want to emphasize more the business IQ versus the nutrition IQ in this video. But the nutrition IQ, yes, put in your reps. If there's a specialty or a niche that you're trying to get down the road, absolutely put in the time, put in the reps, practice, conferences, maybe additional certifications, mentorships, like whatever you need to do to grow your nutrition IQ. But on the business side, let's talk about this. This is why a lot of nutrition professionals are either plateaued in their career, they're not making over 6 figures, they can't find great jobs, they can't stay at jobs because they're not putting in the reps to develop their business IQ. So here's what I'm going to talk about today, and I really want to emphasize to you, and don't disregard your nutrition, but I will tell you, as my career has progressed over a quarter of a century, I have actually focused more on business, on developing my business IQ than I have my nutrition IQ. That doesn't mean that I leave my nutrition IQ behind, because I'm always reading and learning and doing, trying to perfect new techniques or whatever. But it means that when we come out of school as nutrition professionals, we are amped up and ready to go for nutrition. And that is when we really accelerate our nutrition IQ. And our business IQ, if it even exists, is way down here, right? So throughout your career, you're still going up at nutrition IQ, business IQ, nutrition IQ, business IQ. We kind of forget about the business IQ. And then at a certain point in your life, you're like, wait a second, I'm not making the amount of money I should be making. And I want to add more value to my services. I want to reach more people. Like, what's going on here? This was the defining moment in my career. I was actually the last position, salaried position I had was quite a while ago, and it was for the United States Olympic Committee, United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee now, right? USOC or USOPC. And I was one of the first sport dietitians, and I was there for a couple of years. I went to Beijing Olympics just to date myself a little bit. You can figure out what year that was. And afterwards, I was like, man, this is fantastic. But I was only, even though I was working with the best of the best athletes in the world, I was like, it was such a just short scope, like just short focus. I wasn't able to really, I didn't feel like I was able to really work with a lot of different athletes and share my knowledge. But I also knew that my income ceiling was right here, literally. And you can do the math there. You make what, $60,000 a year, you get maybe if you're lucky, 3 to 5% raise. Like, listen, your ceiling is not going to go up much at all. And I realized that early on in my career, and I said to myself, what do I need to do? And I took the plunge, right? I went full on, going into small business, like from step one to two. It was a bit scary, but I'll tell you what, after I developed some very basic business IQ principles by putting in the reps, reading, learning, going to seminars, talking to my mentors, right? Within a year, I doubled my revenue. I doubled my yearly income from when I worked as a salaried sport dietitian. Interesting, right? And I was thinking to myself, wow, I didn't learn more as a dietitian. I didn't learn more from a nutrition perspective. I learned how to actually manage and make money in a business. And I didn't just sit there doing it. I didn't just sit there like, oh, hey, open the doors, here I am, right? It's learning and putting in the reps about what is marketing, what is advertising, how to sell. Because listen, you know what? Not many nutrition health professionals actually know how to sell. They get in conversations, and when we ask someone for money, we're like, it's gonna be right? We don't like to have that conversation. Listen, that's one of the skills I teach as a mentor, right? You have to know how to sell. And that's one of the things that I taught myself. I actually had a few mentors along the way, but through reading, through podcasts, through webinars, through workshops, right? Some paid, some free. I spent actually a lot of money trying to develop my business IQ so I could be a better, not only dietitian, but a better business owner because I didn't want that income ceiling here. You want to blow up your income ceiling. You don't want to have an income ceiling, right? The only way to do that is to put in the reps from the business side of it. Now, listen, I understand if you are just starting as a nutrition professional, listen, I totally get it. You need to put in the reps in the nutrition side of it in addition to the business side of it. And it may not be a 50-50 split right now. Like if you're just like literally just getting out of college, university, or like whatever, and you're like, oh man, I really need to polish my nutrition skills. I need to learn more. Maybe it's like 80% nutrition, 20% business right now. Absolutely. But think in your mind, remember, that is going to have to come down and up. Those two are going to have to match at some point. And then when you get a little bit later in your career, kind of like I am, it's going to even like business IQ is going to even take more of your reps than your nutrition IQ. So there's going to be a little bit of a flux and a little bit of a change in your system, in your repetitions that you do based on where you're at in your career. So again, nutrition IQ, business IQ when you're first starting. As you progress in your career, they will eventually cross because you're going to get tired of not making a lot of money. And when that happens, that's the light bulb. That's when you're like, hey, I need to put more time. I need to put more resources. I need to put more reps into this business thing. However, from my own experience, this is what I would share with you. Don't wait until you're 15, 20 years into your nutrition professional career to learn more about the business IQ, to enhance your business IQ. Don't actually start it when you're first getting out of university or wherever you're coming from, right? At least devote 10 to 20% of your learning, of your reps to business and 80 to 90% of nutrition. Because listen, if you don't, you will never make the amount of money you want to make. You will never provide more value than you want to provide right now. And you will never create opportunities to work and really enhance people's lives from the kind of the individual many to the millions. And that's kind of what I teach in my mentorship is how do we go from individual to many, so you're influencing in one individual to many individuals to millions of individuals. Because listen, there is no income ceiling when you get to the many and the millions. There's absolutely not. And you have to more shift into the millions. But that is really, it's not even a secret. Listen, it's not. It's just the fact that we are not taught the business IQ as nutrition professionals. So if you want to learn more, obviously you see all my videos around here. And I'm sharing these because I just want you to learn more about this, but please put in your reps, put in your time. But please remember, always include some business reps along with your nutrition reps. Thanks for listening.